What's up, guys? Welcome to your 165th Android tutorial for the new Boston. And the reason I showed you that previous tutorial where we didn't have a configuration is that our onUpdate method gets called, but if we add that configuration back in, the onUpdate method won't be called until the first time it is called, so like within 30 minutes of putting the widget on the phone. So again, we're just going to add that configuration class back in. Again, we just have to refer to our package name, com.thenewboston.travis, or whatever you guys' package name is, and then our class name that holds configuration, which I called widget config, and that will get our configuration going. So now what we want to do is we want to go into our configuration class and set up, set this up. Again, our configuration class is going to be activity that gets launched when the widget is placed on the home screen. So again, it's going to be activity, so we're just going to say extends activity, and we're also going to use a click listener, on click listener, because again we have that button, so we're just going to implement that now. Alright, and then we have to add our imports and add our unimplemented methods for click listener, and we also want to add again the onCreate method. Pretty general to everything else we've done so far, so we just add that in there, and we're going to set our content view to our configuration layout. So set content view, again r.layout widget configuration or config. We have our layout set up. Now we're going to set up our button within that layout. Again, nothing new here. We're just going to call this button B. Find view by ID. Widget config was the reference name. Again, add our imports and set our onClick listener to this because we implemented it. Alright, and we're also going to add a few variables to our class that our whole class can use. So above our onCreate method, we're going to set up an edit text to get basically the text again that we're going to, the text view name that we're going to set. So we're just going to call this info, something like that. And we're also going to set up a app widget manager, which I'll explain what that does here in a second. But we're just going to call this AWM for app widget manager, and we're also going to create a context, which is going to just be the context of this class. We're going to set up a int that's going to be our app widget ID. So again, we're just going to say AWID. We kind of did this in the previous tutorial as well. Just add all our imports. And alright guys, so I clipped the video because when I implemented the onClick listener, it's coming from the dialog class, so that won't register with a button. That's why I was getting that error. So I just deleted those imports and then did it again, made sure it came from the view class. So make sure you have this onClick listener. But just if you guys thought I skipped it, I wanted to include that as well. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to relate to the context of this class and set that equal to this variable up here that we created. So we're just going to say C equals, again, our class name, which is widget config, and we're just going to say .this, and let's also set up our edit text that we created, which was called info. We're just going to set this equal to new edit text. Again, nothing new here for you guys. Et widget config was the reference name that we created. Now what we're going to do now is just get some information from which widget called this configuration to start up. So how we do that is by creating an intent, because again an intent is opening this class, and we're going to call that I, and we're just going to set that equal to get intent, and again add our imports, and we're also going to create a bundle. Again, kind of review for you guys. We're going to set this equal to our intent, and we're just going to get the extras from that intent that was passed, that we got the information from. And all we're going to say is if extras is equal to null, which we want it to be. So our extras, which again is our bundle that's being passed in, is not equal to null. We're basically going to get the reference from our app widget ID. So we're going to say app widget ID is equal to the extras that's being passed in, because again, if it's not null, we're just going to get the intent, get the integer, and we're going to refer to the app widget manager class. We're going to say dot extras or extra app widget ID, and we're going to give it a comma. I'm just going to hit enter to go down to the next line, give us some space to work. And for a second parameter, we're going to say app widget manager again, and we're going to refer to invalid app widget ID. And then we just got to close off our get int method there. So all we're doing is we're just getting the ID, and we want to make sure there is an ID that's being passed in. Otherwise, we can't really do anything with this widget. So it's just kind of a way to check that. So a way to check which widget started this class. So that's all we pretty much did. I know it's kind of confusing a little bit. I mean, we've covered a lot of the concepts already, but you might want to just leave a comment, say getting info about the widget that launched this activity. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I'll probably go over this stuff a little bit more thoroughly, but I just want to make sure we're all set up and ready to start programming this configuration class. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.